I have been waiting so long for you guys to meet my guest today. Her name is Heather Shea, and she is one of my absolute favorite people in my whole life. And she is a wildly gifted teacher on all things intuition. And she is an absolute savage. So she's one of the best teachers I have ever met. I have been on the receiving end of her teaching and coaching. Plus, she's one of my dearest friends. And I've watched her support so many other women really hone and develop this skill for themselves. And today we are kicking off a 2-part series on really how to activate and develop and deepen your intuition and turn it into a secret weapon that you can use in your business, your relationships, and in your life. Especially in the age of AI, where a lot of people are outsourcing a lot of their wisdom or experience or guidance to AI. And it can feel like you get a little lost in it. So in this episode, in part 1 of our 2-part series, we're really getting into what intuition really is, how to activate it, how to really hone it and develop it, especially in the time of AI. And we have all the stories. Plus we swear like a bunch of feral truckers. So fair warning. If you have kids around you right now, make sure you listen with earphones. And we have all the laughs. Plus, she's a 5-1 manifestor and an Enneagram 8. So we are bringing the energy in this episode. Like I said, Heather is an absolute savage when it comes to helping entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, ambitious women in general really hone and develop the skill and the art of intuition. This episode is such a power-packed episode. We go into all the different areas of intuition. We get really tangible with it, and there's some key takeaways that you can take from this episode and layer it into your business and your life and really hone this skill for yourself. So I'm going to zip it. I'll leave it there. I cannot wait for you to meet her. Here is Heather Shea. This is Rich, Hot, and Free. Guys, there are no words. There are 0 words for how excited I am to bring this bitch on. because
Menace energy!
Because you have heard me talk about her so many times. She is one of my favorite people in the entire fucking world. Also, not only is she one of my favorite people, this chick is a 5-1 splenic manifestor, an Enneagram 8, the yin to my yang, one of the most aggressive speaking, inappropriate, wildly intelligent, intuitive, kind-hearted, big-hearted, hilarious, ambitious, expansive thinkers, one of the coolest, raddest chicks I have ever met in this space, my absolute ride or die, Heather Alice Shea. Welcome to the show. I'm so fucking happy to have you here, man. Big time.
Oh my gosh, Jill. Like, damn, you know
Wish
how
we
to
were
hype
neighbors.
a bitch. Girl, I know. You know how to hype a bitch up. Holy cow. I'm like about to cry. I'm like,
Also, let me just preface this with like, Heather's from the South, so she's definitely going to say things that are like super Southy. Like she says to me shit like, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. And I
yes, you're
just
gonna
love
get
that
all
for
of the
us.
Southern euphemisms, and I'm actually fluent in 3 languages. So English, sarcasm, and swearing. Like this is
I
our
was just going to say,
birthright.
don't tell me it's actual languages.
No, it's not. It's
It's cut a
swearing and
bitchism.
sarcasm. Yeah, it's kind of bitchisms. So yes, there will be a lot of swear words. I hope you guys are okay with that. But yeah, it's
Something
awesome to
tells
be
me they're
here.
used to it on this show now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's awesome to be here. I'm so excited to chat about all things just identity elevation. I think that's something that's so similar that you and I are
Yes.
both just it is the drum that both of us bang 24/7.
Heyo.
So yeah, just
Also, I
doing
just
it.
have to say, because I have mentioned you in like different offers and stuff. So if you're in Reality Bender, Heather was the one who walked me through the like cheat code manifestation technique. And I've just learned so much from her. Like she is one of the most talented teachers and coaches that I have ever come across. Like your ability to coach, Heather, is just fucking unmatched in this space, truly. Like
Oh, thank you,
even not
Jill.
just with me, although we have had some wildly formative conversations over
Hmm.
my journey and my knowing you over the last like 2 and a bit years now.
Yep.
Um, but also what I've seen you do for some of my friends with some of the conversations you've had with Jade, some of the work you did with Allie in the past, like I just think you are top tier. And also like just for everyone, just for like everyone's insight. Heather and I met back in what? It must have been 2024, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2024.
And I came on her podcast and we did the podcast, and all of a sudden we were just like, are we best friends?
Within 30 seconds, we were like, what are your views on religion, abortion, politics, aliens? Like, we were talking about every inappropriate topic within like the first 30 seconds of getting to know each other. So,
And then this
yeah.
is the days that I was running Millionaire Girls Club and I was hosting a dinner party, and I had rented this like amazing estate in Scottsdale. And I said to Heather, I was like, I'm there for a few days before the like party. Do you want to like come there? I know we just met, but like, do you want to come to the estate and hang out for a few days? And she's like, flight's booked, bitch. I'll see you in a few days. Like,
I'm
and
coming.
then
Yeah.
and then we fell in love. And now
Yep.
we're here. And we just
Yeah,
had an
man.
amazing trip in Austin and we talk all the time. And I'm just so thrilled for her to be on the show because I've never met anyone who talks about intuition the way that Heather does. And the way that she's going to break it down for you guys today is just above and beyond how you've probably ever heard it before. So, like, are you ready
Yeah.
to dive in?
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm
Okay.
super excited to talk about it. My goal and my wish in terms of offering it, because it is a topic that is so it's kind of in the forefront of everyone's mind at this point,
Mm,
particularly in the online space. My hope with this episode is what we'll do is normalize what is has been branded thus far for human beings as abnormal. So we're going to
yes.
normalize this using science, right? So everything I teach can be backed up by peer-reviewed research. That's one of the things that makes my teaching different. I have 26 years in the can in terms of being a mental health counselor and a coach. I've literally never done anything other than coach or therapy, right? I have a master's degree in
Mm,
clinical mental health counseling. So I'm a big fat nerd. I think it's really important to offer people accurate information beyond just my opinion. And I've been I've started out as an intuitive coach in 2014. I did 6 years of nothing but intuitive session after session, right? I built my business just from that. And then in 2020 transitioned into coach training. So now what I spend all my time doing is just teaching people how to harness their intuition using my 5-step method called True Intuition, which we'll get into in this
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
And what I've learned in this is if you're a person who feels deeply, and if you're someone who knows you have a calling over your life, or if you're sitting back and you're so frustrated, maybe even experiencing despair, because you know there's a version of you inside of you that you cannot get out for other people to see. There's this unlived, unexpressed person inside of you that you know you're supposed to give the world. This episode is going to help you get in touch with that person so you can start giving that version of you to other people. And I think
Mm,
that's the most important like give that intuition gives you is the ability to do that, right? Just take the gloves off your life and start kicking ass and taking names. So,
yes.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's what you're so uniquely talented at as well, is like the way you frame it and the permission you breathe into people. Like even as we were just before we started recording, I was talking out to Heather like a new layer that I want to add into my work. And just the way that she helped me reframe it, like I said, do you think that this is a sabotage that I want to like add this layer in? And she was like, bitch, it's a sabotage if you
If you
don't.
don't.
Like just
Yeah.
her perspective on I'm so excited to get into it. Okay, so there's so much that we're gonna go into. This is definitely gonna be a two-parter. So like
Yep.
keep your ears open for that. But just start with like, what the fuck is
What
intuition
is
in general?
intuition?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because people are
Okay.
like,
So,
I think it's like a gut feeling.
yeah. Yeah. So let's get into what intuition actually is. And I'm going to give you three definitions. And as we approach this subject, I want you to think of yourself almost like a researcher or like a little detective. I think that's a good posture to have as we explore ideas that are seemingly taboo. And I want to just take a second to honor that many people listening to this are going to be the black sheep of their family. You are
Mm.
going to be the weird one, the oddball, the person who says weird stuff at the dinner table to their drunk Aunt Margaret that
Hello,
everybody else,
guilty.
hello, guilty as charged, right?
Hello, my name.
Hi.
Hello, we're
um,
eights. Of course we do.
yeah. It's like so if so understanding this and getting to this, I think it helps destigmatize ourselves. So I'm going to give you three definitions and maybe hit a little bit of the myths.
Okay.
So what is intuition? The first definition I'm going to give you is just a practical one. It's accurately knowing something without consciously understanding how you know. It's
Mm.
accurately knowing something without consciously understanding how you know, right? If I were to give you a scientific definition, this, which is like, I'm going to use some fancy words here, but yes, actually, you guys, science now defines exactly what intuition is. Remember when we were little kids and we were like, I have a sixth sense, and we were
Yeah.
saying that metaphorically, right? Like, it's not like we believed we had like an intuition organ located on the back of our elbow that was like doing the intuiting, right? We thought that was a metaphor. Well, guess what? You do have an organ. You literally have a sixth sense. It is a neurological pathway that goes from your heart to your brain to your gut.
Oh, get
Literally.
out.
Yes. And I won't bore you guys. I could explain exactly how that works, but the point is science now understands this. So what they say intuition is the mind body system or the psychophysiological system detecting and deciphering information from the quantum field.
Mm.
The mind
Isn't that cool?
the psychophysiological system, which is this heart brain gut pathway I just told you about, it's electromagnetic in nature, being able to read and sense what the research calls emotionally relevant stimuli. So that's the scientific definition. My favorite though is the
Mm.
spiritual definition of
Is a bitch
intuition.
just knows.
It's a bad bitch just knows. That's it, right? Or
Stop
like
asking me
people are like,
questions.
it's like, when I was little, my mother would go, "Oh, wow. Well, life according to Heather Alice Booth." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like a whole 12 years old." And I'm like, "Yeah, mom, because it's my life. So I'm the one who gets to say what I
Everyone
think."
should have known then what was coming.
Yeah, you
It's
should have known.
my
Like, yeah,
life.
of course, of course. Like, I'd rather be wrong doing the thing that I believe is
Mm.
true than
Yes.
right doing the thing I don't think is right for me. I'd
Amen
rather
to
be
that.
wrong following my conscience than right following somebody else's.
Yes.
So that's the conviction of intuition. But the
Mm.
spiritual definition, if you break the word intuition down into its component parts, it means in is honor upon, to it is the root word of that is to teach. Like,
Mm.
so our word tuition in English
Hmm.
comes from the same root word as intuition, which is to
Oh, I love
instruct or
that.
to teach. Turai is to watch over or to guard something precious. To watch over or to guard something precious. Okay? So when you
Mm.
break the whole word down, it is to intuition means to contemplate or to consider the wisdom from your inner watcher or guard,
Oh, I
to
love this.
allow the wisdom from your inner watcher, your inner guard, or your higher self, right? To guide you, that you're a person who will listen to that voice and allow it to guide you above all else.
Mm.
So when you
It's
say
like
you're
the
an,
guiding force of my life. Like, and I used
that's
to
right.
hate when people would be like, "How do you know?" And I'd be like, "Oh, fuck, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I just know, like I know, like I know.
That's
Stop
right.
fucking asking me. Like, I
And that
fucking
should be
know."
enough. And that should be enough of an answer.
For real, though. But people need
That should be
like
enough of an answer.
3D fucking, I don't know, like science-backed proof. But you covered that. So there we go.
Yeah, it's absolutely there. It absolutely is real. The question is, how do we take conscious command and control over that ability?
Mm.
So that's where, true intuition comes in, intuition school comes in. Like, we do need to learn how to consciously access these abilities and use them effectively so that they can lead, guide, and transform our lives. But research shows that every human being on earth is intuitive. One of the myths is that I hear all the time is, Heather, I don't even know if I am intuitive. Well, I've got
Mm.
good news. You, me, and every living human being on this planet is an intuitive. It is a baseline human characteristic and trait that all human beings possess. The research shows that across like gender, race, religion, ethnic, where you were born and raised, it does not matter. Just like you're born with the ability to learn how to walk and talk and read, you're born with the ability to intuit. So you've already been, we do this every minute of our lives. We're just doing it at an unconscious level. So what I help people do is take conscious command over a
Yeah.
fully functioning but unconscious ability you're born with. Imagine if you didn't have to wait to get a hit. Imagine if you could just tap in and feel it when you want to.
So I think the biggest thing is like, or I think where people struggle to really tap into it, hone it, unlock it, trust it, is that it might feel a bit like reckless. Do you agree? Like
Mm.
that they might be like, oh, this is too woo woo, or this is too fluffy, or this is like, I'm just making this
Sure.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you unlock it though? Because I imagine, especially now that everyone's hearing like everyone's born with it, it's not like
Yep.
some people are intuitive and some people just lost at the game of life. No, I don't mean it
That's
like
right.
that, but like some people missed it, you know, that's not the case. Like, how do you actually unlock it if you're like, I'm a believer, I want this ability. How do I start tapping into that?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a practical answer and then there's a mindset answer.
Okay.
So I'll just drop a question in for everyone to think about for the mindset answer. When we say, how do I know I'm not making it up? How do I know that, this is the right move? How do I know that it is my intuition? I think in our second episode, we're going to go into how to tell the difference
Mm-hmm.
between fear, wishful thinking, and ego, monkey mind. I will get into the 8 characteristics that help you identify. So you guys stay tuned for that. We'll get into the weeds with that piece of it. But I want to drop, I think, a more important question to ask. Right according to who?
Mm, I love that. Such a powerful distinction.
Right according to who? Where is this bastion of accurate stuff we're all supposed to be living into? Like where is that? Tell me who we have given our permission, our authority over.
Mm,
Because because if you aren't following yourself, and that's a practice, yes? I mean, I wake up, I do this for a living, and I wake up every day and I practice listening to the wisdom within. I practice to listening to the voice of God or the Holy Spirit or whatever people want to conceptualize this as.
hmm.
I practice that every single day. But if I will offer you this, if it's not your own voice and if it's not your own truth that you're endeavoring to live in alignment with and in harmony with, then you're letting someone else's agenda lead and guide it.
And we ain't here for that, thank you.
So yes, so every time we're like, well, I don't know if this is my intuition or I is this the right move? What is it we're really saying? What we're saying is I should just follow the crowd
Blech,
because at least
blech.
then you see what I mean? So it's like, okay, so that's the mindset shift. That's the right according to who. Like what we're
Mm,
really afraid of, what I notice in it is I think so many of us are so scared to bet on to listen to the voice within, to allow ourselves to step into self-leadership, self-sovereignty, to fully own our power because
mm.
then skin is in the game and money's on the table
Yep.
and we're scared we might lose. But guess what? You've already lost if you don't do it.
Oh, amen.
So yeah, so right according to
And you'll
who?
always know deep down too. You'll always fucking know when you're off your own path and when you didn't trust your gut. And every time
And
you don't trust your gut, like be honest, like if you even don't even consider yourself intuitive, quote unquote intuitive. I'm an intuitive. Like even if you don't consider yourself that intuitive, I guarantee there's been moments where you have had a gut instinct and you fucking went against it. And then as soon as it blew up in your fucking face or did not go the way you wanted it to, you're like, motherfucker, I should have trusted my gut.
that's right.
Everyone has had that moment.
It's so funny that you just said that, Joe, because I was literally about to say that what you just said, like vibe, because there hasn't been one human being on earth that hasn't had that experience. That's how we know
It's real.
there is something within us that we know is wrong when we go against it. How is that possible that that is a universal human experience?
Mm,
So it's about shifting where we are placing our power. Where is your power? Who have you given it to? How much of your own power are you owning? I would rather make the gravest of mistakes than surrender my own judgment. I would rather
oh,
fail
100%.
miserably. Yeah. So like what
I
do we
also
have to
feel like
lose?
that got
Nothing.
strengthened for people in 2020. Like the ones who really like had a hard time with that, aka all of us. Well,
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
like the awake ones. um,
Yeah.
I feel like that really accelerated that standard for people. Is like, I will never give up my self sovereignty ever again
Ever
or go
again. It
against
was a
my own
litmus
judgment.
test for many. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I think apart from the mindset shift, a practical thing that you can do to start learning how to listen to or hear, or maybe I should say sense, because not everyone is clairaudient. To start tuning in is to learn. It's the first step in the true intuition method, which is inner awareness.
Mm.
So this is going to sound so ridiculous, but if you want to make a sandwich, what room in your house do you have to go to? Well, you have to go to the kitchen, right? It sure as hell isn't the bathroom. And it's the same. Oh my God, right? Food should never touch bathroom air. So if
Bathroom
we
air.
bathroom air, it's just dirt. I don't know. It's a different zone. It's a different zone of the house, you know? Um, so if we want to learn to live from our own inner watcher, our own inner wisdom, then we have to go to the place where that wisdom resides,
Mm.
and that's within you. So we have to learn then to understand, and this is where education becomes important. This is something we teach inside intuition school. We have to learn our five main intuitive senses. There's many more than five, but we focus on five main ones. And we have to learn how, just like we receive data and information from our five physical senses, we learn how our own energetic system receives and decodes intuitive information from our five senses. So the first step is to say, I know that a deep source of wisdom lives within me. And I'm going to practice listening. I'm going to practice feeling myself in every moment. It's basically developing deep connectivity with yourself,
Mm.
caring about how you feel in this moment, paying attention to the emotions that people and places and things invoke in you. All of this is intuitive information. So that is the first step. It's I am going to choose to pay attention to the rich inner world within, and I'm going to hold what I feel and what I sense there as valid and as vital. Intuitive information is just as valid and just as vital. It's kind of like I liken intuition and logic like one is a PC, Windows, or a Dell.
That
Okay,
would be
that's
logic.
logic.
Don't,
That's
okay, thank
exactly, I
God.
know.
Don't even tell me
Logic.
something fucking aligned with Bill Gates would be intuition. Like, no, it is definitely not that.
That is Windows, Dell logic, yeah. And then your intuition is a Mac. But guess what? If like my Mac runs Windows, they're just different operating systems. But they do basically the same thing. What do? They help you process data. So your logic, and this is a big myth with intuition as well, that I hope please let your ears perk up as you're listening to this. We have been taught, this is one of the myths. Oh, I can't trust my intuition. I'm scared to follow it. I'm scared to listen to it. Because we think that it's illogical. We think that it's irrational. But that isn't
Mm.
what the research shows. It shows that it is a separate but complementary data collection system. You have two data collection systems, one intuitive, one cognitive, one logical,
Hmm.
right? It's separate but complementary. So it's intuition isn't illogical, it's not irrational, it's non-logical, it's non-rational.
Mm.
And that's a
But just
massive
as
shift,
valid.
but just as valid and just as vital. Think about it like this. If you're not accessing your intuition every single day, like in every spiritual tradition, life, the human experience is in every spiritual tradition, somebody along the way likens the human experience to a battle, to a war. For example, the
Mm.
Bhagavad Gita is literally Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna is Arjuna's charioteer. Okay?
What is the
So
word you
life
just
is,
said there? What
huh?
what did you just say? What is the heart of the What did you just say?
Jill, we haven't even had a margarita.
You're sober, bitch.
I'm
You have
sober.
fajitos.
I'm sober as hell. I said the Bhagavad Gita,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is a
I
Hindu.
just casually throw out that word every fucking
Oh,
day.
yeah. It's a fascinating read. It's from the Hindu tradition.
Okay.
So it's an ancient text. It's an ancient holy text.
Oh well,
Where
now I feel like an asshole. Now
no,
knowing it's a
no,
holy text, and I
it's
was like,
fine. It's
I'm
fine.
just. I'll stop interrupting. Shut up, Joe.
Yeah, but so it that whole like the whole like the Bhagavad Gita is the best kind of example of that in my in the least that I've found so far. So life is a challenge. So pretend like you're in a fight or you're in battle and you've got one hand tied behind your back.
Mm.
This is what we're doing in life. Do you want to know why life is hard and it sucks and you can never catch a break and momentum is hard in your business and you can't crack it's because you're in a freaking fist fight. You're in a gang fight with one arm tied behind your back. You don't have both operating systems. You don't have both, you don't have both arms to be able to swing with, right? To fight with, to
Mm.
create with. So that's intuition. That's why it's so important. We're actually doing life with half of ourselves in the game without it.
Mm. I
Yeah.
love that visual too, because it does feel like when you don't have that in your arsenal or you don't let yourself use it in your arsenal, you're at a disadvantage because then you're just like filtering everything through. Like, what do I think about this? And your thoughts are so clouded half the fucking time.
Well, this is a really good segue into what the research says about entrepreneurship and intuition.
Mm.
So
Tell us.
when I first woke up, I had, so in 2012, this was before I started my business, 2 years before I like formally started my business, I had a medical crisis that I won't go into it because it's a long story, but I had struggled for 5 years previous to that with um, a horrible, horrible case of endometriosis and some type of like mystery condition that
Mm.
sort of accompanied it that doctors didn't know what it was. And I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker every year. 2012, I was raised Mormon in a very conservative Christian home. And I tried everything that I could to be a good girl, to do the right thing so God would reward me. And, I
Fuck,
wouldn't
man.
be,
That's what was making you sick, I bet.
that's, yeah,
Good
of
girl.
course.
Yeah.
So 100%. So in 2012, I had this surgery, and I don't want to say it was a botched surgery, but I almost, and I wasn't recovering from it. And I call it my
Mm.
Lieutenant Dan moment because in Forrest Gump, you know the movie Forrest Gump, when Lieutenant
Yes.
Dan's on the shrimping boat and he's like, "Fuck you, God!" I mean, and he's just like going off. That was me, dude. I was so
Mm.
blasphemous. It was like the most disgusting display of rebellion. But hey, it's where I was, and so I was so mad, and I said to God, if I'm gonna die, you better tell me why. Like I want to know. Like I was literally calling down the thunder. And basically I had this spiritual experience, which a lot of people have, their awakening experiences. But I woke up the next morning, I heard a voice talking to me in my head. It was the first time in my whole life that I'd ever actually had an experience where I knew it wasn't me talking. I knew that it was, holy shit, this is not me. Like I asked God to show up and he just did. So I had this whole experience. I forgave, I let go, and I woke up the next morning completely healed. And I could still hear that
What the
voice.
fuck?
Yes. And that is
Like
when over
legitimately completely healed?
100%, no, no issues, never again, never had anything.
Stop.
From like, I could not walk. I had to have help walking to my incisions were sore from the surgery,
Hmm.
but I was fine.
What the fuck?
Got up,
That's
ate.
nuts.
Yeah. So, and I believe I was supposed to have that experience because it boom put me in. And so it put me on this path of being an intuition teacher and a coach trainer, certifying and training intuitive life coaches. But so over a period of about 8 months, I was actually at that time, I was a research assistant for a cognitive psychologist at the University of North Florida. So I had access for a whole year to an entire university library under the direction of a cognitive psychologist. And guess what I did with my time?
What'd you do?
I did nothing but research intuition. So
Mm.
one of and just look at like what are the processes through and by which we do this? Is energetic communication bullshit? Because I would literally go to the grocery store and like it still happens to me to this day. I'll just know things about people. For
Mm.
example, I was in one of my Bible study and I could hear, I'm not going to say who it was, but I knew this is dark, actually, trigger warning. I knew that this poor girl had been assaulted. She had experienced
Mm.
an SA. Um, I knew that I knew that since she was a little girl, she wanted a daughter and she was going to name her daughter with the letter E. And I knew that she was afraid to leave the person who had SA'd her because she was afraid that God would punish her and she would not be able to have children.
Oh, wow. That's
So I
heavy.
walked up and I told her all of this, and guess what? Every bit of it
What?
was true.
Wait,
Yeah.
no, I don't even mean to laugh because that's not something you laugh at, but like you just said,
Yeah.
so then I walked up to her and I told her all of
Yeah.
this, but like
Yeah.
surely you had like
Well, I'm
an
very
in.
skillful at this. Yeah. Like this is where training comes in. Like I'm very skillful at how I do it because I've been, but doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's and you gauge whether a person is open to it.
Yeah.
But that was happening to me over a period of 8 months. I mean, when I tell you I went from being like I didn't want to have anything to do with spirituality.
Mm.
I made fun of people that talked about God. I thought it was dumb. I thought religion was dumb. I thought all of it. I was like, I wasn't an atheist, but like, I just didn't care. So I went from, I don't care, I'm doing pole fitness because I was like way into pole fitness at that time. Do you know what I mean? It's
I
like
don't
shooting
care.
guns.
I'm doing strip fitness.
Yeah, I'm doing like whatever. I don't want to have anything to do with it to hearing people's deepest trauma
Mm.
when I'm in the grocery store buying zucchini. So, you
This is
know,
why though I feel like people either love or hate our coaching. Especially
yeah, yeah,
maybe not so much yours because yours is very much like controlled and through a lens of teaching, whereas mine is just like off the cuff and very fucking direct. But like perfect example is I was coaching one of my clients a couple days ago and she was talking something out and I just flat out said like, just delivered a hard line of truth and she was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, it's true." And she was like, "No, it's not." And then by the end of the call she's like, "Okay, so I see what you mean by this thing, and you're
right.
right. I am hooked into blah, 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 blah." And I was just like, it's all good. Like, sometimes you just need someone to shine a fucking light on it because you can't see it, but someone who has a gift or is who has honed this,
Yes.
which I know we're gonna like get into, but like someone who has honed this, it's like you can't unhear, unsee, unknow it.
Yeah.
Like I
And
just
I
know,
think
like I know, like I know, like I know, which is really frustrating in a coaching capacity, I'm sure, on the receiving end of it, because I'm gonna come with an energy of like, okay, well, it's true though.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you just have to
And
soften
and
into
and
it.
that I think people come to you for that reason. Like I think that's a feature, not a bug. I think people that want to
Mm.
work with you, as with all people who are intuitive, I think people I really trust and know I operate under the belief that spirit, universe, God, whatever you can whoever is listening to this like perceives a higher power to be. I operate under the belief that God sends everybody to me.
I love
And
that.
I just know that they're there. Like I know how God uses me, and I just assume that every person who orbits into my world is there for that. God uses me when people are down and out, they're fucked up, they're beat up, they're the worst case scenario. When I started my coaching practice, I did so under the encouragement of my therapist. Her name was Mary Southwick Jones. She let me borrow her office for on a it was either like a Thursday. I can't remember if it was Thursdays or Fridays. I think it was Fridays. She let me borrow her office, and that's how I launched my coaching practice. She said, "You should start coaching while you get your graduate degree, while you go back and get your grad degree." And I was like, she's like, "I'll let you use my office." I'm like, "Are
Wow,
you kidding
what a
me?
gem.
What a gem." And the moment that
Mm.
I sat in her chair, I went from being the person being helped to the helper. It was mind blowing. But I did that under her guidance. And what I found when I opened up my practice was that the people that were coming to me were the ones who had it. They had already been to the psychologists, the psychiatrists. They'd hired 50 coaches. They'd done all the things. By the time they made it into me, they were the worst of like their problems were so
Mm.
and I would because I had this ability. I could just boom, I could feel it. And
I mean, I've
and
seen it in action.
yes,
You're
like
so
it's
fast at
this.
it.
Yeah, like names, dates, it's crazy the accuracy, but again, I've been practicing this professionally for 11 years.
Yeah.
My mission is to help other people be able to do this as well. So, you know, I think that there's something about normalizing the experience of I just know and I don't know how I know, but I just
Yeah.
know. Because like how I got so sick, I think if we when we repress our power in this way, it makes us absolutely miserable.
I couldn't
Absolutely
agree more.
miserable. So the
I
research
feel
so I
like,
know
oh, sorry. I feel like that was just like such a level of my own deep work in my last like year or so of my own personal transformation is like really allowing myself to own that and not like deprioritize it like I kept being told to, which is so like I was being told to, like sounds like I gave my power away. And full disclosure, like I very much did for a lot of years. But the more I started owning this for myself, the more I believed in my own coaching, the more I
Yeah.
fucking supported people in such a deep capacity. Like the more I transformed, the more my standards raised. Like everything just got better once I stopped stuffing down or like suppressing my own power.
So that is two things that the research shows on entrepreneurship and business and intuition. They did studies, many, 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 on what is different about people in business, entrepreneurs who are serially successful, meaning they launch business after business after business after joint venture, after investment, after their
Mm,
next business, constantly, 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 they're successful, successful, successful. What is it about, like Elon Musk, right? What is it
mm.
about these people that's different? That's what the researchers wanted to know.
Asperger's. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Just
Tism.
for
They
Elon
got a touch of the
though.
tism, you know?
For Elon though, maybe.
Yeah, he's definitely, oh, dude, he's totally on the spectrum.
He's
First
one
time
in a
I ever heard him on
million.
Joe
One
Rogan,
of
I'm like,
one.
oh my God, he's autistic. Um, and I say that like as a clinician taught to diagnose, like there's no shame in that. Like I've got 3 diagnoses. I see no problem with it. Like I'm freaking half neurodivergent too. I think actually all intuitives are neurodivergent. But so what they found was people who are so really successful in business they basically self-report that they're just listening to their intuition. That's what they
Wow.
all say. They're like, oh, I just go with my gut. I don't listen to what anybody tells me. I do what I know is right. And they found qualities that they, two qualities about those people because they're trying to quantify that. Okay, but what does that mean though? And they found that to be really successful in business, you've got to have these two qualities. One is sustained positive intention. That's what the literature calls it. Highly intuitive entrepreneurs, they have sustained positive intention and sustained positive attention,
Mm,
meaning that they can look at the field of play, listen to themselves deeply. Remember how we were saying you go within and you listen,
hmm
block out the world, 5 senses shut down, get the internalized voices out, get the self doubt out. None of that is you anyway. Self doubt is not native to the human experience. Ask a 2 year and a 3 year old. Self doubt and fear of failure is totally foreign to the human spirit. Watch a new baby learn how to walk and tell me if failure is real or
mm,
self doubt is real. It's foreign to the human spirit. Okay. So, really successful entrepreneurs block all that out. They look at the field of play and they pick the thing that they want. So that's their intention. They hold sustained positive emotions and vision. They lock in on that like a pit bull. And then they attend through time. So they make a decision. And then through time, as they're manifesting it, they hold on to their attention on that thing, holding
mm,
positive emotions and bringing people along with them. That is the secret weapon in business. It's an intuitive process of saying, this is what I want because I just know because I know. And I know it doesn't make sense to you, dumb shits, because you're not me and you can't see what I can see. You know, like people are like, Heather, I don't believe in intuition. I'm like, listen, two things.
okay, cool.
One, you have the
Live a
right to be,
miserable life
yeah,
then.
yeah. I'm like, one, you have the right to be wrong. And two, you can suck. You can suck and be wrong. Like, that's okay. Like, I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm here to say, this is real. This is how we should always be doing life. And the most successful people and happy people in the world,
Mm.
this is their secret weapon. It's not some fucking 5 step process with the fact that they take fucking ice baths and go hike up the Himalayas and chant with Shaolin monks. It's just they just do what they want when they want to do it. That's it.
Mm.
That's it. They're
Full
just
self
like
expression.
full self-expression. They're
It's
just
funny
doing
because
life.
you're like, it's not some 5 step process. And I was about to be like, so how do we unlock it? Is there a
Let's
five
do it.
step process?
There is a 5 step process.
Oh my
What makes
God.
what makes this process different is it's much cooler. No, seriously though, it's a
Because
way to concept.
can I quick say, like, I imagine there's people maybe not if you're listening to this show, but definitely there's people out there who's like, okay, I'm intrigued. I want this, but I don't think I have it, or I don't know how to unlock it.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, now
Okay.
give us your 5-step process.
Okay. So I'll go through the 5 steps, but I want to answer that question directly
Yeah.
because I think that's a more practical, helpful thing. So there's 5 steps. One, inner awareness. We've already went over that. Two, notice. You're going to notice what's within you. You're going to start giving a shit about how you feel and what you think. That's it.
Mm.
What you're noticing is I call them gateways. The research affirms this. There's 5 gateways: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. Clairsentience also is two, though. So it's clairsentience empathic and clairsentience somatic. So clairsentience means to feel.
I was
So
just gonna say, is
inner
that like feeling it?
empath, it's like your basic empath. I'm an empath, or
Okay.
I'm a medical, like I'm of a body. So we feel in 2 ways. We feel emotions, but we feel with our body. So clairsomatic is learning how to pay attention to like the sensations in our body. Like some intuitives, it's all through their body. Like my one, Jerry, she teaches one of my classes in our academy. Everything with her is somatic, highly somatic. Oh my gosh, it's amazing how her body talks to her.
Wow.
So clairvoyance is what pay attention to the images in your mind.
Hmm.
So if I were to say, can you imagine a purple elephant? Can you see it in your mind? And some people will go, well, no, I can't see it, Heather,
Yeah, that's me.
but can you
But I can
remember
like
what
know it.
you can know it?
Yeah.
Or can you remember what an elephant looks like? And then
Yeah,
can you
for sure.
pretend it's purple? Okay. So clairvoyance is simply paying attention to the images that pop into your mind. Some people that are really clairvoyant can even like zoom in 360. Like
Wow.
the like
That's
some like
impressive.
I'm highly clairvoyant. I can see inside of things. It's wild. Up, down, all around, and I can get inside of it. Like I can imagine an apple and then see inside the apple and then come back
Whoa.
out. So I'm highly clairvoyant though. Clairaudience is listening to what you hear. So this is, it could be song lyrics. It could be just one word pop into your head. It could be anything really. It's just words, and eventually will become full conversations, full on conversations that you're listening to, that you know whose voice you're listening to. We'll cover that in our second episode because people will go, well, isn't it just me talking to me?
Hmm.
Well, yes, it is an inner voice, and in that regard, I guess it is you. But think of it like this: when your mother calls you on the phone, you know it's your mom, right? Because you
Hmm.
know her voice.
Yeah.
Once you learn how your higher self sounds and talks to you, you'll never wonder if it's just you
Oh,
making
I
it up
love that.
again. So you have to understand what your higher self sounds like. And it has a
Mm.
voice. Just like Jill, when you call me, I don't have to be like, hi, Jill, it's Heather. Like, you know my voice.
Yeah.
It's the same with spirit. We could get it, I could come back and do another episodes on the types of spirit that you should communicate with and the types you shouldn't.
Oh,
Okay.
that'd be
There's
cool.
a lot of people out here teaching people how to do some wild that I believe is, I personally think is very dangerous, but um, guardian angels, spirit guides, ancestors, and your own higher self. And you really need to cap it there because everything
That's your
outside of
team.
that,
That's your squad.
that's your team. And why the hell are you channeling a freaking Arcturian? Although personally, I do think, I mean, that would be cool. But like, why do we need to go outside of ourselves for wisdom? The whole point of intuition is that we're within our own clear circuit. But okay, so you notice what's there. Third is trust. We're going to break up with this notion because what will happen is you'll start to get all these impressions and you're like, oh my gosh. Oh, and you'll
Mm.
have a synchronicity. And then you'll be like, oh, is that really true? Am I crazy? My mom told me I can't be. And then we go back into our freaking hidey hole of prioritizing other people's wisdom over our own.
Yeah.
So we're going to trust. The fourth is where the rubber meets the road, which is interpret. And the fifth is act or communicate. This is very simple. You go within, you notice what's there, you frickin' trust it, you interpret it to figure out what it means, and then you decide what you want to do with it. It's
Mm.
that simple.
I
Now
feel
there's
like this is the
magic.
best thing I've ever honed for myself because I would say that I have claircognizance, which, like, on the receiving end of it, I imagine is pretty frustrating because people always want to know how I know, and I'm just like, oh man, I wish I had a better answer for you. I just know. And learning how to hone this for myself has been like the greatest thing that I've done for myself because especially like I'm splenic authority, you're splenic authority in HD. Like, were you ever told, I know I was, like, just think about it. Take some time, think about it. And like deep down, I'm like, I don't need to. Like, I can
Yeah.
pretend I'm going to think about it, but the whole time I already know what I'm going to do. And I feel like I overrode that for so long because people with who trust gut instincts or who have sacral authority or splenic authority or are just highly intuitive, we can, if we're open to conditioning influences, we trust their guidance over just moving with forward with our knowing. But now that I've like for example, when I asked you like which even is such a beautiful example of me overriding what I already fucking know. I don't know
Hmm.
why I still do it, but sometimes I just want my bestie to be like, "Yeah, bitch, you want it."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you just want support. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but deep down I knew like yes, I should layer in this new topic of focus into my what I do. Deep down I knew it and I knew I was going to roll on it. Like I know
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I don't know why I asked you about it. I just wanted you to be like, "Yeah, bitch, you're on it." Um
Well, wisdom is listening to people. I think that's wisdom to listen to people that love you. I will lovingly offer my criteria for giving a shit about what another person thinks. The first is they have to love me and I have to love them. I'm not listening to a
mm,
person that doesn't love me, and I'm not like, why would I listen to someone who doesn't love me and want what's best for me? Number two, they have to be crushing in the area that they're giving me advice in. I'm not going to listen
yes.
to somebody uh, give me advice about something that they themselves have no proficiency in at all, right? And the third is they want to see me win. Now, somebody can love you,
The
but not want to see
trifecta.
you win. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they want to see me win, they love me, and they actually have wisdom to offer me. Like, I think now, in the vein of trusting our intuitive abilities, I think it's totally fine to go to your trusted sources, people that you know want to see you win, and ask for support. Like, that's community. That's so powerful. And to me, that's a part of the intuitive process. We're not meant to live on an island. But that's the step three, the trust. Trust is the area that most of the people that come into intuition school want to spend the most time on because it's where we do the deprogramming.
Mm.
It's where we examine the identity that we're sitting in. It's where we discover the ways in which we're giving our power away that we're not aware of. And that is a process as we grow and evolve, it's you hit that upper limit and we're always discovering ways in which we give our power away. So for example, for me, I am an empty nester. My daughter graduated college last year. I am sitting in my house with my husband, who is the love of my life. We had two kitties. They both died within 4 months. I'm sitting in my house with daughterless and catless, like, just my life. It's like, what is going on? You
But I
know?
also just have to share for anyone who doesn't know Heather, like she is my marriage muse. Like this bitch loves her husband so much. Like how she speaks about him. Like I was with Heather, if you know my Jason Bourne story, which I've told on the podcast,
That was so
I
fun.
I was with Heather when we met Jason Bourne. And Heather and Jason
Oh,
Bourne got along so well because just all their similar beliefs and views and whatnot. But the way she spoke about her husband to Jason Bourne, even like as him and I continued to hang out and Heather had left, Jason Bourne and I, his name is not Jason, obviously.
his
His
name
name
is
is
not Jason
Jamie.
Bourne, but yeah, it's Jamie, but we're gonna call him Jason Bourne.
Yeah, because he is Jason Bourne, essentially. But
Yeah.
Jamie and I called Heather when she was at home, and Jamie spoke to Heather's husband to let him know how powerfully and favorably and positively she speaks about him because it's just, I know I'm so on a tangent, but like my ultimate muse is you with your marriage because the connection you guys have, the trust, like even how you describe him, like you're the roller coaster and he's the roller coaster tracks. Like
Track.
even just that, or like pull my fucking hair. There's just so many things where you just speak so highly of your husband and how he supports you. But yes, you're an empty nester. Take it from there.
Yeah. And I think even like I look at it's like it's so funny how you can rewind the tape and look at your life and realize that the greatest gifts in life came from me following my intuition. Like how me and my
Mm.
husband got together was a total shit show. And it was just my deep commitment to the life that I wanted to live that flew in the face of all conventional wisdom. I mean, I just ripped up I knew he was the one. and I did not need, you know, like even that was an intuitive thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but you know, we go through phases of our life as we continue to grow. And what I see people when I see people try to develop their intuition, they'll go, Heather, I thought that this wasn't an issue anymore. I've worked on this thing for so long. This block, whether it's money issues or finding a relationship, right? We'll have these themes over our lives, and people will say, well, I'm so tired of working on this. And I'm like,
Mm,
that's the point though, is that you're always
mm.
going to have something to work
Yes.
on.
There's
So
always a
if you
deeper
don't,
level. It's like the
there's
work
always a
of an
deeper level.
onion.
That's right. The worst thing that can happen to you is you're sitting back going, I've got nothing to work on. Well, guess what? You're firmly rooted in your comfort zone. And that is the danger zone, is the comfort zone. Stepping out of your
Agree.
comfort zone, which feels terrifying as shit, that is not the danger zone. The danger zone is sitting happy in your little comfort zone. But yeah, so I think that the trust piece of it, that piece of it is really, really important. But there are skills that you unlock in each of these steps, right? I'm giving kind of an overview on how sort of the intuitive process, right? How do we
Mm-hmm.
go
Mm-hmm.
from I'm getting intuitive hits to I'm now willing to trust that to, okay, what does this mean for me? To now what do I do with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that is an inner intelligence that we're unlocking. And I know we wanted to touch on AI. I just think it's
Yes.
hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious to me, and I'm all about AI. I think it is brilliant. I know a lot of entrepreneurs are like, "Ew." I'm like, "No, yes, I love AI. I think it's going to help us. It's all on how you use it, but it's never going to replace the intelligence that you
Yes.
possess
The
within you,
wisdom.
the
That's what
wisdom."
when like I get that people want to use AI coaches. I fucking have created one. Like I get that it can be helpful, but it can never hold a fucking candle to an actual coach or mentors or gifted teachers level of experience, wisdom, like delivery. I don't know, it's so sycophant. Am I saying that right? Sycophantic?
Sycophantic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, it's like that skews the coaching that you're getting because it AI will never know how to feel something. It'll never know how to develop wisdom because of coming through something or overcoming something or, like fucking something up and then finding your way back. Like it'll never have deep wisdom.
That's right.
And when people use it for
100%.
relationship shit, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? When it's
It's
like
it's
I like
I
form
actually
my
believe it's deeply dangerous.
responses.
Yeah, there's preliminary I mean, we're so new in this, but AI psychosis is real.
Yeah.
We now have people that are, and I'm saying this as a clinically trained psychotherapist, yes. Not I'm not licensed, but clinically trained, did all the things except for go get the license because I don't want to do it and I don't want to get sued by the state of Florida because it's ridiculous the stuff if you get a license, they make you do. But
Hmm.
um I'm saying this as someone who's diagnosed, right? Like I have been in that world. AI psychosis is a real thing. People are having mental breaks from talking to it. So again, I think one of the powerful things as we learn to listen within, as we learn to trust ourselves, as we learn to interpret what our own higher self is saying to us and how it's leading and guiding us from that centered place, then AI is great, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Then all of these things are, and I tell you what, we could even take this down. And Jill, what I love about you as a coach, I think like the greatest unlock in the world is just like rad friends that like people have to pay a lot of money to talk to you and I can just pick up the phone and call you. You know, it's
All day, every
amazing.
day.
Yeah, it's amazing to have like that in your back pocket. But you know, I would even go so far as to say I know you do this with your clients and I do it with mine. My whole thing is I want to empower my people to listen to themselves. See, we're
Yes.
not you're doing your coaching. You're not saying to the person, I'm the guru, you listen to me.
Hmm.
You're saying, I'm going to use the talents and skills and the genius I have in me to unlock yours. You're the master of being you. You're the genius of your own life. I'm just here to help you unlock that thing inside you.
I
That's
often
really
say that.
great.
I
Yes.
often say that to my clients. If they're like, well, what do you think? I'm like, I'll tell you what I think, but here's where I think the unlock is for you is like not needing my like obviously you want my guidance and my feedback, but the real unlock is what do you think? And like
That's right.
trusting your moves and your guidance and your vision and what you know to be true for yourself. Like I had a client who would come to me for like validation on everything. Like, should I fire this person? Should I do this? Should I launch that? And I was like, listen, bitch,
Yeah.
like I can't make these decisions for you. This is your business. You're the one who has to deal with the upsides or the downsides of it. It's your fucking life. You're the one who has to live it. You know what I mean? Like I cannot make these decisions for you. Like I love nothing more than being the boss of people's lives. But ultimately, it comes down to like they have to make the final decision. They have to
Sure.
trust their own inner wisdom. And that takes deep self-trust and reflection like what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I think it asks us to to explore and consider what we believe to be true
Mm,
about our lives. And you know that I love my father. There's two men in the world that I love more than anything, my daddy and my
mm.
husband. And my father, God rest his soul, he died 20 years ago, but his one-liners were brilliant. And growing up, he would always say to me, "Baby, even when I'm wrong, I'm right."
That's my
And
favorite one. It's
yeah,
like,
even when I'm wrong, I'm right. And when I got old enough, I challenged him on that. And because he was also an Enneagram 8 set wing 7. But I was like, Daddy, I'm pretty sure when you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't think you're right when you're wrong, Daddy. I think you're an asshole who just thinks I'm pretty sure that's it,
I
Daddy.
think you're just an eight.
I think you just, yeah. And he's like, no, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. And I finally understood what he meant by that when I got into my 20s. What he was saying is the worst thing you can do in life is be right while betraying yourself. The
Mm,
ultimate,
being right
so
about the
what,
wrong things.
being right about the wrong things or right for the wrong reasons. Like, so what do we believe it? What does it mean to be right? Right for who?
Mhm,
Right
mhm.
according to what? Whose standard?
For
Who
real.
gets to set the standard of right? Who gets to say these things, you see? So when you start to live, and the fifth step of the method, so in the whole true intuition method, um, I have a whole developmental model of this where there's a definition of it, and then the developmental goal and the developmental challenge. And step 5, which is act or communicate, the goal of that step is to understand that intuition isn't something you're doing, it's something you are.
Mm.
I just am this way. I can't not. It's going to happen. I'm sorry. If you're going to hang out with me, you better get ready for me to tell you your dead grandma thinks you should stop fucking off. Like, I don't know. I don't know. This is what's going to happen. So, like, I just am this way. Okay. Like, I'm at the gym doing a Bulgarian and I can feel that this dude, he's really upset about something at work. It's like, that's just how it is.
Mm.
So when we make that shift to intuition is something that I am, it's something that's intrinsic to my nature, we really begin to understand and see something that it initially is frightening. And then after we get through that, liberating, which is that no one gets to say what's wrong or right for you but
Mm.
you. So what does it mean to have an intuitive hit be right? Because this is a big stumbling block people will say is, Heather, what if I'm wrong? What if it's wrong? And then to that, I say, wrong according to who?
Yes.
So this is something we are and only we get to say. And when we're so it's like breaking up with this 3D logical mindset of this linear, it's black or it's white, there's no middle. It's wrong or it's right. Like I tell my students all the time, take your Scantron test that they gave you in the frickin' 8th grade and rip it up. This we're dealing with like,
Scantron.
remember the little bubble thing?
Tell us that we weren't going to school in the 90s.
Do you remember those things? And you had to have like a number 2 pencil. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's how we're going through life. Like there's some teacher that's going to come along and rap us on the knuckles with a ruler if we don't do what our parents say or
Yeah.
our friends say. It's like who gets to say? And so then you
Mm-hmm.
realize there is no such thing. The only way you're wrong is if you betray yourself.
Yes.
And
Fuck
the
yes.
only way you can be right is to serve, in my opinion, I'll humbly offer, serve God, serve the purpose that you were put on this earth for, and follow the dictates of your own conscience and be humble and kind and loving. Like that is winning, even when you're wrong, you're right. So, and that's also sovereignty and liberation and freedom. And I tell you, if you live your life like that, you don't even care because you're just busy having fun. So, like, all of it's just kind of good, right? It's all, even your losses, even the terrible stuff you walk through, it's like, okay, cool. This is a part of the story too. It's,
I deeply agree with that, especially like on the other side of the season I'm in. Like, I think both in my marriage specifically, I think both Josh and I knew for a while that our chapter was complete.
yeah,
But I just think that personally for myself, I overrode that because that's scary. You know what I mean? But
sure.
deep down, I fucking knew, which was the biggest mind fuck of all because I wasn't listening to it. And I think
Yeah,
Josh knew too. And he probably also felt a level of guilt or obligation or something like that, where he was like, fuck, I can't, like, we can't do this. Like, it's us. Like, we're not gonna get
yeah,
divorced. Like, it's Jill and Josh, you know? But I think we both knew for a long ass time we were just so scared because we were so deeply connected, you know, such great
yeah.
friends.
And you honor that him about, you honor the life that you had and that you want to honor that goodness.
Hmm.
And that's Jill, that's such a beautiful example of the heights of the things that following our own soul is going to ask of us. Sometimes it's going to
Truth.
ask us to do things that look crazy. Your parents
Hmm.
are like, "What are you getting a divorce for?" Whatever that is,
Literally,
right?
though,
It's
we're
Jill and
so
Josh.
shocked.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? And I think that's also why we're scared because deep down, deep down, deep down, we already do know.
Oh,
And
100%.
so 100%. So what we'd rather do is sit around and go, I don't know, this or that. We spin this narrative that we're confused. We spin this fucking narrative that we're stuck. We're actually not.
It's just we don't want
But
to like admit it to ourselves how right we might actually be.
be exact, because then once you see it, you can't unring that bell. And now we
You have to
know that we're responsible for doing something about it.
exactly that. It's like once you know it, then you have two fucking choices, which is like you either keep going about it and fucking ignore it, and then your life just progressively gets worse because you
Worse?
will like literally shrivel and die inside,
Yep,
or you go to bat for the fucking knowing that you have, even if it's scary, even if it's uncertain, even if it feels unfamiliar and probably slightly chaotic, but you know deep down that you have a level of fucking conviction and calm because you are finally living in the fucking truth.
that's right. Joseph Campbell, who was
Just to
oh
take
my
it
God.
back to Joey C.
Just to take it back to Joey C, brilliant man of the one of the greatest thinkers of the 20th century who coined the hero's journey. Yeah, we've all heard about the hero's
Mm.
journey, right?
Hmm.
He was the guy who basically invented that. And how he invented it was he traveled the world and he studied religions and myths, ancient human mythology and religions. And what he said is that you are not truly living an authentic life, the life of a hero, right? You're not living an authentic life until you walk into the darkest part of the forest where no one else has stepped foot. The darkest part of the forest where no one else has stepped foot. You have to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do, that seemingly terrify you, that are seemingly bad, to get to the gold that we all want, right? So,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this. Like, it breaks my heart, it really does, because I talk to people as you do every day. These are brilliant souls. They are so gifted. They have so much to offer the world. And they are so terrified of just saying, fuck it, I'm going to do it my way. They
Mm.
have the music inside them. And we have been bashed over the head thinking that there's some right way to be. And so, we're supposed to break taboos. We're supposed to be misunderstood. Listen, if people are not hating on you, you're not doing anything valuable. If people aren't talking about you, you're not influential. If
Mm.
people aren't working against your plans, your work doesn't have any impact.
Oh, I love that. And
So,
that's so big for you and I specifically as Manny is like, give
that's
me
right.
impact all fucking day, every day.
So it's like we everybody talks about another thing with that I think is so interesting about the nuance of living an intuitive lifestyle is everybody wants to go to that higher level, right? This higher vibrational state. Whatever that big vision we have for our life. But what people don't understand is that when you go to a new level of a vibrational set point, so we could speak this like your future self. Think of what you want your life to look like in 5 years or even a year, right? So the future you 365 days, right? We hope we grow. We hope we level. We've got a higher vibrational set point. What people don't understand about that and why people stay stuck on the level they're at is they will not agree to take the shadow of that
Hmm.
new level
Yes.
too.
Yes.
So, yes, you have to say yes. And Joseph Campbell said this, you have to say yes to the dragon. You have to say yes to the darkness. You have to say yes to the problems that happen at that level. You have to say yes to not just, I get to make millions. You have to say yes to employee problems. Yes
Yeah.
to,
The
fuck, you didn't do your
inconveniences,
taxes right.
the fear.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
the intuition gives you a freaking roadmap in that black space, that darkness. Your logical
Hmm.
mind is not fucking smart enough to guide you through the darkest part of the forest where no one else has tread. I don't need you to tell me where to go. I tell me. I can feel it. I know it. I can stop
Mm.
anytime. I mean, personally for me, I love Jesus. I'll ask Jesus to help me. I'll ask my own higher self to help me. I'll ask my spirit guide Sebastian to help me. I have
Same.
so much help. I truly don't. But what's funny is because I don't, I have tons of friends. Like I have so many people that I feel supported by. And,
Mm.
like Brandon was just telling me this the other day. He's like, Heather, dude, you are so lucky. You are so blessed. And I think it's my external world of people that love and support me is an external manifestation of the fact that I'm so well equipped in the spiritual.
Yeah. And you love people really hard as well. Actually, that's one
Yes.
of the best. I want to quick say one thing is like, I wish I could remember who said this line, but it just struck me so deeply as like, that's true for me. And she said, I don't need to see the future to know the future. And I was like,
Ooh.
oh, I fucking love that because that's how I feel. And this was in like the depths of me leaving my marriage. And I was like, what the fuck is my life going to look like? Like,
That's right.
am I ever going to meet anyone? Is this the dumb decision? Blah, 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 blah. All the things that we swirl in. Will Kai be okay? Will I ever come out of this? Will I always feel this way? Blah, 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 blah. And she dropped that line and I was like, holy fuck, I'm good then.
That's
I'm good.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I know deep down, like I am liberated. I am good. I am on my highest timeline, or at least my next highest timeline. And that was just such a like remarkable thing for her to say is like, I don't have to see the future to know the future. Like
That's
I
right.
just fucking know that I'm good and this was the right move. And because of that, because I have courage to act on what I believe is right for me, I will be rewarded in ways like how I was saying to you, I'm in my windfall era. Like things just match the frequency I'm in because I trusted the gut feeling and the intuition to know this is the right path for me, even if it doesn't make sense for people, even if, whoever didn't see it coming. And then the second thing I want to say is around like how blessed you are with friends. It's like because how you love people. And I remember you blessed me with that when I was kind of like
Hmm.
in my new phase with meeting men and like, I was in all the zings with like all these hot dudes I was meeting. And I was like, am I in desperate energy? Like, what's happening? And like, I just want to like be myself and I just want to be like as fucking as intense as I normally am. And you said, this is just how you love people. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and you said, I can't remember Brandon, you said something to Brandon about me of like, I can't remember what you said, but essentially, like, I've never felt so seen or loved as when
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah. You just pour into
whatever.
people. You just do that with everyone. It's not just
Yeah.
men. That's just how you love people. You love intensely, you love hard, you lift people up. That's just you. That's your beingness. That's like if you can't be that with someone, don't have that person in your life
And I feel
because
like
that's
that's why
who
you
you
have
are.
such good friends because that's who you are too.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. I
big
mean,
time. I love you so
yeah,
much.
I value it so much because I wasn't I didn't come from a childhood or a background where I've had any support at all, really.
Mm.
So it's a core value of mine. But you know what you just said is really beautiful. I don't have to see the future to know that it's the right way. This is something where how I'll know that I'm missing the mark is that if I have a clear line of sight to something, and if I sit back in my business or my life, whatever big goal I've got, whatever big vision I have, if I can sit down and see clearly, really plot it out, yeah, map it out, I know I'm fucked. I need a new goal.
Mm. Oh, I love
Everyone,
that. Because I
what?
feel like that's actually what people strive for is to see all
No,
the steps,
no.
right? And now you're
Again,
like, nah, bitch.
no, you're not dreaming big enough. David Bowie did an interview. I love him. What a beautiful musician he was. David Bowie did an interview where he said you should always be out of your depth.
Oh, I love
Just a
that.
little out. He said
Mm.
always he because it was like towards the end of his life and they were like, "How did you write all of this iconic music?" And he was like, "I never let myself touch the bottom. When it came to my creative work, I always swam out farther than I could touch.
Mm.
Not
I
so
love
far that I
that.
drowned, but I was out. I was out of my depth." He goes, "Always push yourself out of your depth. You need that edge." And I can tell you this from a mental health perspective. There are qualities and talents and characteristics latent within us, gifts and abilities that lie dormant within, okay? That will only manifest when put in situations where they are demanded in the moment. Okay, so an example of this would be women who can lift cars off of their
Yeah,
toddlers. Where did that strength come from?
for real.
Because they're stronger than they believe they are, but it was invoked in a situation that demanded it. Okay. So you have each of us, we have latent, so profound talents, gifts, and abilities that will never unlock until you let go. The mind
Mm.
has to say, I don't know. When trust fall with the universe. So that to me, everybody's like, I want clarity. I want a roadmap. I'm like, I don't.
Mm.
If I can lay it all out, I know that I'm screwed. I need to have a bigger goal that challenges me to use my intuitive faculties to guide me. And then the second thing that I live by is you only need 30 yards of headlight. So think about, and people do this with their lives, right? Again, logic tells us we should have all the answers. So I live in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Let's say I want to drive to San Francisco. I can make the whole entire drive to San Francisco with 30 yards of headlight. I don't need to see the whole road to get to
Right.
San Francisco. I just need to see 30 yards in front of my frickin' car so I don't kill an armadillo and I don't miss my exit.
An armadillo.
Yeah, man. They're
I
so cute. They're like, have you ever
so
seen them?
fucking
They're
random.
adorable. But like, I don't want to hit one, you know? So I'm driving, I'm getting there. It's like, think about that for a minute. All you need is enough a line of sight
Mm.
to take your next right step.
That's why when these motherfuckers are talking about 5-year plans and shit, I'm like, what? I don't even know who I'm gonna be in 90 fucking days, bro. Like,
Dude,
I 5-year
yeah,
visions, like, love that for you guys. Not for me. I can't do it. Like, I
yeah,
refuse to do it.
I don't think that it's helpful in the world that I was listening to this guy. He's like a total like autist engineer guy, builds like he was like one of the first, I think he did actually build the first language LLM like back in the
Oh,
90s.
damn.
But what he said is that it's actually detrimental to your growth to try
Mm.
to get a detailed vision of it. Like there's a lot of, like the whole law of attraction. They're like, get a specific,
Yeah,
detailed
yeah.
version. The problem I have with that, I think you can do that with the feeling.
Yes.
You can do it with the
Yes.
feeling. And the
Yes.
research, again, sustained positive intention and sustained positive attention, that is an emotion, right? I think you can have a feeling, but if you're expecting a plan, this roadmap, it actually works against you because there's too much disruption right now.
I agree
There's no
wholeheartedly.
way anyone can know that.
Like, imagine you set a 5-year plan in 2018 and you had to stick to it till 2023. Bro, you're nah. Like that plan was chucked out the fucking window as of March 8th,
That's right.
2020, you know?
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I just want to make sure, have we hit everything? Because I know you and I tend to go like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I also want to hit the second episode because we're going to go even deeper into this because you have a whole mapping process. Like the
Yes.
way that you think about really bringing this online for people is so fucking powerful. So I just want to make sure we
Okay.
already know how to unlock it and why you should care about honing your intuition. We've already talked about in an age of AI, why is it so fucking important to really tap into your intuition and trust it above a fucking machine who can't possibly feel human emotions, create wisdom, or have any kind of human experiences. So we know the power of that and why you should be trusting yourself over AI. And then we've talked about the 5 steps, right? Just recap the 5 steps real quick.
Inner awareness,
Mm-hmm.
notice what's within you,
Yep.
trust what you receive,
Mm-hmm.
interpret, discover the meaning. I have a whole matrix I can go through on how to do that. And the fourth is act or communicate, right? Decide
The
what you
fifth
want to
is
do with
act.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So
That's
in
it.
the next episode, and then I
Here's what
also
we'll
want
do.
to talk about intuition school, but tell everyone where we're going next. Or do you want me to? Because I have notes around it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the difference between your ego and your intuition. I think that's going to be such a massive one because often, even with myself, I'm like, do I want this because I'm like chasing an external thing or
Right.
is this like true felt intuition for me? So we're going to talk about ego versus intuition. We're going to talk about how to deepen your intuition. We're going to talk about your process of impression mapping, which I find
Yeah.
so fucking fascinating because it's such a cool process. We're going to talk about how to know if your impression is yours or someone else's. And then we're going to talk about how to really trust this for yourself. That's in
Yeah.
episode 2. But before we close this one out, I need you to tell people about Intuition School. If you want to get into Heather's world, please, please do yourself a fucking favor and go to jillstanton.com/intuition. jillstanton.com/intuition. Get in this woman's world. Like she is a fucking life shifter. I promise you, she is one of the most like catalytic forces I've ever met in my entire life. She has just gifted me with so much clarity and wisdom and like deep inner self-trust and just of course all the like friendship experiences that we've had and all the ways that you love me and support me. But if nothing else, you're one of the most highly intelligent, well-spoken, gifted teachers that I've ever met. And so if anyone wants to start to develop this for themselves, please get into Heather's world. She has a
Hmm.
program or a community called
Yep.
Intuition School. So go to jillstanton.com/intuition. Thank me later because this bitch is about to rock your whole fucking world. So do you want to
Amazing.
quickly
Thank you, Jill.
explain what Intuition School is so that people know
Sure.
before they go to that
Yeah.
link? And it'll all be in the show notes as well.
Hmm. So Intuition School is a 12-month minimum, just 12-month annual membership
Hmm.
where you get to learn how to tune in, trust, and turn your intuitive hits into daily guidance. That's what we do every single day. This is about honing your own intuitive abilities. So within your first 30 days, you're going to have all 5 of your Claire gateways that we talked about in this episode unlocked. You're going to understand how the energy comes through those gateways, how your unique energetic system, how it presents to you, so you'll be able to notice when you're getting a hit, and we will discover your primary intuitive modality. That's your 30-day win. Okay, I want you to imagine you come into this container, and in 30 days, you know exactly the science. I have a whole module on the science behind intuition. You have the sovereign inner alignment map where I walk you through how to think about aligning to these higher aspects of your own consciousness. And even if you're a beginner, maybe you know you're intuitive, but you don't know how to unlock it, or you're somebody who's like intuitive curious, you're like, I don't know about all this. This is for all people who want to learn how to develop a deep, rich relationship with their own sense of knowing and just get unapologetic about that. So if you're a coach or a healer, you're gonna freaking love this, but you don't have to be, right? Maybe you've got a corporate job, maybe you don't run a business yet, but intuition is really a priority. So it's no commitment. I don't ask a contract, dude. You can cancel anytime. I want this to be so easy. As of the
Hmm.
recording of this, I don't know what the monthly rate is, but it's under $100. I can promise you that. Like, this is not a super expensive container. My
And yet
intention.
it'll make you so much fucking money.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Oh
Like,
my gosh. The coaches that come into this, it's insane. So the one of the things that we do in the container is we'll have conversations around. Now, it won't be formal training. My certification program, the Sovereign Intuitive Coaching Certification Program, is where we unlock intuition, learn how to use it as a coach, and then use my four-step intuitive coaching model, Sovereign, find, feel, friend, free, to work with your clients. But in intuition school, we do have conversations around that. How are you using these abilities to uplift the world? How are you being a leader in your family,
mm,
with your friends? So we use the true intuition method to go through the model. Okay. We use the sovereign model to address any blocks that come up, which is we're looking at our own resistance that we have to owning our power. We're looking at how we're scared to tell people that we're intuitive, or we're all of that is held, right? We've got a great community. It is amazing. So, how it works is we've got 2 live calls. So, a masterclass with me. Yes, you do get to see me. I do show up to this. I'm not shoving you
mm,
in a membership site where it's like, go watch a bunch of videos. Each month we get a master class the first week, and then the second week we have this class called Channel Panel where we literally get on Zooms
oh
and
my
tap
God, I
in,
love it. Channel
and
panel.
we call it Channel Panel. And literally think of it like I want you to imagine coming into a Zoom room where you get grounded in, and then you are literally allowed to share intuitive impressions with people and get real-time feedback. You should see the chat. By the end of this class,
That's so fucking
everybody's
cool.
crying because they see how right they are. What happens is they get
Mm.
into it and they're
Oh
like,
my God, that's
holy
so much
shit.
permission.
Yes, it's
Mm.
crazy. People walk out, they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, girl, it's just because you've never been allowed to be in a container where people
Yes.
supported you in it. So, and then third week, we do an impression map. So, and we'll get
That's
into
what we're
this
going
in
to go
this.
into in
We're going to do that.
episode
I
2.
think in the
Yeah.
next episode, remind me what we'll do is I will do a yes and no impression map. So we'll
Okay.
we'll key. So impression mapping is basically it's one of the components that I use for intuitive development, which is how we set your energetic system and we create a spatial map in your energy. I promise it'll make sense when we go through it to just start systematizing how your intuition works. And one of them is just to get clear yeses and nos. Real simple. So each week you get an impression map. On the third week, you get an impression map drop, and we do little challenges and stuff. So it's fun. It's super
Yeah,
fun.
man.
No,
And
zero
it's so
commitment.
powerful.
Yeah,
And it's less than a fucking $100. Like,
yeah.
please,
Oh my gosh, we
guys.
have like I'll
Like,
give you you get a little manual which you can upload into ChatGPT. Like it's multimodality learning. It's truly is I love intuition school. It's like a massive gift from my heart.
mm,
Because I want to make this available to people. Like I could charge 3 grand for this. I'm not going to do it
easily,
though.
bro.
Easily.
Easily.
I don't
Easily.
want to though because I want people to be able to get access to this quality level of training.
Also, because
Um,
this shit, like, truly changes the trajectory of the world. Like,
yeah,
it's not like we're going back to a time where everyone's asleep. Like, we are in a time of fucking awakening.
that's
You
right.
know, like, you better be able to access the depths of your own wisdom and your own intuition in order to create your highest outcomes.
It's funny that you're saying this. You just reminded me. I was watching a video of one of the guys who founded not OpenAI, but one of the other big AI
Hmm.
companies, and they asked him, now that AI is here, what do you think the big quality that is going to be the game changer, the differentiator? Where is the competitive advantage now that everybody has AI? And he said it's going to be people who know how to follow their intuition. He said that.
I love it.
He said it's going to be
I
people,
concretely believe it.
yeah, who sense energy, people who can read a room, people who can
Mm.
intuit toward people, people who can get in and look at what's not being said and what's not being seen. That's what he said.
Bro, I feel like you just literally described my human design.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
have the gate of intuition, the gate of shock. I'm quad right, which means I can read a room, and I'm highly receptive, and I'm a 4 line, and I'm a manifester. So, like,
Yeah.
basically,
And
that
you're
is me in
splenic.
a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I have
Crazy.
my root, spleen, throat all connected in one big ass channel. So I'm just
So do
like,
I,
yeah,
I think.
obviously, bitch, like
Yeah.
twinsies. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, so
Yeah.
jillstanton.com/intuition if you want to get into Heather's world. And not just if, when. When you
Mhm.
get into Heather's world, please use like get into intuition school because she's a fucking life shifter. I know I keep saying this, but I've been so excited to have her on the show for you guys to meet her because the way this I was going to say, the way this bitch has changed my life. I am just going to say that. The way this
Yeah.
motherfucker has changed my life in the deepest, highest, most expansive, most loving, most intelligent way is just like one of the greatest gifts I've ever experienced in friendship, let alone just from another powerful woman doing her thing in the world. Like, I just love you to the fucking stars and back. Like, I think you are a goddamn walking, talking gift to the world. So I just want
Oh.
everyone to get into your world because I just think you will expand what is possible for them in a way that they don't even see coming once they tap into these gifts. So
Yeah. And
jillstanton.com/intuition.
if
And we're going to go deeper into this in episode
Yeah,
2.
we'll get into, I think our second episode, let's get into like, I want to really give people the kind of nuts and bolts, right?
Yeah,
Meat
like
on the bone.
we'll make it
Yeah.
tangible
Yeah, for sure.
and we're
Thanks,
going to swear
Jill.
a lot.
That's a given. I swear in church, dude.
Of course you do. Of
Like
course you do,
I'm
bitch. You're
not
like,
changing things.
praise motherfucking Jesus.
When I pray, I'd say that. I'm like, I'm sick of this shit, God. I mean, I ain't changing for nobody on that score.
I love you so much. All
I
right.
love you too.
Okay.
Thanks for having
Guys,
me.
if you are okay, I also want them to connect with you on IG. So your IG is just Heather Alice Shea,
Alice.
correct?
Yeah, Shea spelled
Spell Shea.
Shea.
Yeah, okay.
Shea. Yeah, like
And
the
I'll link
butter.
all of this in the show notes as well. Everything will be listed in the show notes. Heather's site, her IG, Intuition School,
Mhm.
all of that. If you're not already subscribed to the show, make sure you go to jillstanton.com/podcast so you never miss another episode. And we'll be back with episode 2. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode.